Hi, this is Bob Papa, voice of the New York Football Giants, and this is the Big Blue UK and Ireland podcast.
Welcome back, Giants fans, to this new series, and please welcome my guest for this episode, NFL Superhan. You know him as LPG, license plate guy himself. How are you, buddy?
What's up, my friend? Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
No, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it. Obviously, we've met in London at the Wapping Tavern, which was a great trip, and it's great to finally get you on here. I know a lot of UK fans have been kind of waiting for this one, shall we say?
Yeah, I got to tell you, I had an absolute blast with you guys in London. The best part about it is that it's so funny that, you go overseas and you're rocking with the same big blue crowd that you would be, rocking with in the States. So, I think it's great. I love how you guys come full force, and I can't wait to hang out with a bunch of you in Germany.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be there. So, this is a new series we're doing. It's fans, it's super fans, beat writers, you name it. We're trying to get them on here. 5 quick questions and then quick fire round at the end. So, I guess for any UK fans who follow us who maybe don't know the origin story, how did the license plate thing kind of start?
Yeah, it's funny because I'm started out as just a regular fan. I mean, Giants fans are bred into the family. So
Mm,
like either your dad or your mom or your grandmother or your aunt, somebody was a Giants fan. I don't know what it's like overseas because maybe it's because you saw them come overseas to play football, or maybe like someone like you fell in love with OCU Manure when he played and he came from overseas. So something like that might be a little different, but when it's homegrown, you're a fan of really who your family was a fan of. And when I was probably 11 or 12, I knew that I wanted Giants on my license plate.
mm,
And I waited 3, 4, 5 years till I got to be 16, and I was able to get my car and get a license plate. And I remember my mom took me to motor vehicles. There was no online anything.
mm.
So, and Giants was taken. And I remember I started crying like a little baby, but it was my mom's idea to put a one. So my license plate is really G1ANTS, and I've had it since I was 16. So I've had it my entire life. I still have it.
Wow.
And it's near and dear to me. But license plate guy happened. It was kind of funny because my dad dared me to take it off my car and wear it to a game. And I was like, I'm not doing that. That sounds stupid. And then of course my siblings like, oh, you're not gonna do it. You got dared into it.
Mm,
And then I did. I took it off. I put around a shoelace, and I wore it to a game. And Giant fans are very superstitious, so
mm.
they won that game. And then they won another game, and I had it on. And now everybody's like, you better wear that for the rest of your life. So, it just took on a mind of its own. And I don't know if you know, but when the Giants won the Super Bowl in 2007, and I wasn't license plate guy. I was oh my God guy, because on the DVD, after Tyree makes the catch, you see me in the crowd. I'm like, so I was really oh my God guy before I was license plate guy, even though I was wearing the plates. And then, social media happened, and it takes on a mind of its own. And now I have over 110 plates, and I get them from all over the world. People send them to me from everywhere, and I'll wear it as long as it's like a real DMV issued plate.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So obviously there was the video recently, wasn't there, at Fanatics Fest with Eli, and Eli put them on.
Yeah.
Commented how heavy they were.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the thing. Like,
It's funny because I told him, I was like, Eli, I don't bring 110 to every game, but I wanted you to see like these plates. And he walked the whole thing, and he's like, oh my God. I mean, this is pretty heavy. I'm like, it's heavy. Put them on. And he did. It was great. Look, I love everybody that puts on Big Blue, no matter what. Once a giant, always a giant. But when you're around someone like Eli Manning, I still get like goosebumps. You know, it's Eli Manning. You know, he's the GOAT.
I'm guessing there's only a few players that kind of supersede that kind of superstardom that you still get that, because I know that obviously you deal with a lot of players like we're talking about Brandon Jacobs and Dexter Lawrence, who you did the softball charity event for.
Yeah.
Like you've hung around with a lot of players, but yeah, there is always still one or two that just transcend that slightly, isn't there?
Yeah, Eli Manning is top of the list. Like, I mean, top of the top. I used to hang around with Strahan, so he's not really on that list, even though he became like, you know, this media sensation. I would say, you know, when Frank Gifford was alive, and I used to see him at games, he had that type of aura too, where it would be like, oh my God, that's Frank Gifford. That's like one of the best Giants ever. You know, it's a tiny bit different for me. You know, I never say that I'm different from any other fan, because we all rock the same. We all could go out and buy a hat and a shirt and a jersey, and you know, and we're all great fans. But I have had the luxury of hanging out with some players, and there are some where you definitely get like an oh my God feeling from.
So if we switch back to the Giants as they are now, Hard Knocks was obviously a fantastic thing. A little harder for us to watch it, but we found a way. Thanks HBO Max. What were your major takeaways from that Hard Knock series?
I really call it soft knocks. So it wasn't really hard knocks for the New York Giants, and I think that it was the best possible situation for the Giants to be in, because it wasn't a full-on hard knocks. So it was really great for them to like get their quota in as a team that has to do it, you know? It was great. And especially having like, as they had the rights for the end results, like whatever you can and can't put on, the Giants had the last say. So that's why I call it soft knocks. But I loved it. I loved the inner works of the draft and how all that's set up and how many people are involved and how it gets done. I think it was incredible. I would love to see it with the players, like a real Hard Knocks. However, you know it's tough, and I know the Giants aren't into that, and I don't really love watching Hard Knocks because, you know, when Dallas Cowboys were on it, like I really started to like some of their players, and I don't want that. I don't want that at all. You know, I don't want to like them. I don't want to like their kids. I don't want to like their wives. You know, so you know, but having the Giants on it, I thought was pretty cool.
Was there a favorite moment? Something that made you laugh?
No, I mean, yeah, obviously my favorite moment was, getting to see me hug, Malik Neighbors at the draft. But no, I would probably my favorite moment of that whole thing was just watching Shane do the work that you got to do. Obviously I didn't love the whole Saquon thing, but we knew it was going to happen. But other than that, I just enjoyed the whole series.
So obviously last year was challenging, I think is probably the word we could use.
I'm sorry. Did you say last decade? What'd you say?
Last season.
Last decade, what?
Yeah. What do you think the identity needs to be for the Giants going forward?
I mean, I think the Giants are getting back to, defense, where if you're a Giants fan, you know that we came up with that term, years and years and years ago. I think the defense got to figure out a few spots, obviously, like cornerback and stuff like that. But I think that the identity, good luck trying to block Burns, who I think is an absolute animal, Dex and Thibodeau, all three of them at the same time. Good luck. You're going to have to double team and triple team someone, which is, the best thing that happened to Thibodeau was Burns showing up. So I think the identity right now is defense. Unfortunately, I think the identity of the Giants has to be offense. Have to be moving the ball down the field. And, I don't know what to expect. I had tremendous hopes last year going into the Dallas game. And if that wasn't the worst game I've ever seen in my life, moving the ball, the first series, stalling out, kicking a field goal, block 7 points the other way. What? And then, of course, whatever was it, 40-0, whatever it was. And that set the tone for the whole season. So, you know me, I'm normally, Giants getting double-digit wins. We're getting into the playoffs. We're going to smack some people around. We're going to maybe win a division. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic this year. I still want, 9-10 wins. I know Vegas has the Giants at 6.5. So good luck with finding an identity. Right now, I just don't know what that is.
Yeah. It's the Cowboys game was like the catalyst, wasn't it? We were in a casino in the UK at 1 o'clock in the morning that kicked off, and it was just brutal.
It was just because of the hype.
Yeah.
Just because of coming off with a good season, beating the Vikings, getting killed versus the Eagles, but still something to strive on, and then an absolute gut punch that felt like it took us back 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So mixed bag a bit from preseason this year. Now, some people pay attention to preseason, some people don't. It's installed. It's keep your cards close to your chest. It's practice squad guys and depth guys. But what do you think the Giants gained from preseason?
It's funny that you ask it that way because let's go back 1 year ago. Unguardable Darren Waller. Good luck trying to catch a pass versus Trey Hawkins. Preseason is so fake, it's not even funny, Then everybody will tell you, well, he's unguardable because the Giants defense is guarding him in practice. That's why he's unguardable. So I don't like preseason, obviously. And I know, are you talking preseason games or you're talking the whole thing? You're talking training camp or you're talking just games? Because if you're talking just games, I hate it. It makes no sense to me other than getting guys reps that need to get reps, maybe guys that are going to move on and need tape, maybe because it's the NFLPA says you have to play, maybe it's because the NFL has to make money on us on preseason. I don't know what it is, but I hate it. All I do is pray there's no injuries. Here I am going to games. I know none of the starters are going to play sometimes. I just hate it. I really do. And maybe they'll get rid of one more game and make it an 18-game season soon, and we'll see what that's like.
Yeah, it almost feels like we get much more out of the joint practices than we do the actual preseason games.
Yeah, including some fights.
Were you there for those?
Yeah, I was. I always, obviously, if the Giants are in session, most of the time that I'm there, I didn't make every training camp session, but yeah, I was there for that. It gets a little wild, and watching your starting quarterback get in there and muck it up, I kind of liked it, to be honest with you. But he jumped in there with his beard, but it's silly. I always, I said to neighbors, I'm like, what are you gonna break a hand? You're gonna hit someone in the helmet? I never understood. Fighting someone, throwing a punch into a helmet. Never will understand that, but in the history of my life.
So we touched on it sort of before we came on air, but Cutdown Day is today. A lot of long-term Giants have gone. I say long-term Giants. Long-term Giants now are like 2-3 years. But Darnay Holmes, obviously, he's gone. Isaiah Hodgins has gone. When you have a close connection to some of these guys, like Saquon Barkley, who obviously went, does it make it harder to see them go after they've kind of come up with the Giants, especially the draft picks?
It 100%. Is hard to see them go, especially when you become friendly with them. But, I've said this a million times, and, people come at me on social media all the time. Oh, you only care because you're friends with them. No, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be here rooting for the Giants well after those players are gone anyway, whether they finish their career here or not. So I don't want to hear that BS, from fans. But, Barkley was tough. I hate to see friends go. I hate to see how they go. If it's mutual, I'm okay with it. If it ends bad, I'm not okay with it. But I'm an older fan. So, Craig, I remember seeing guys like Mark Bavaro go and play for the Eagles, Joe Morris and Carl Banks go to play for the Browns, OC go to play for Atlanta. Like, I've seen it. And the funny part about it was back in the day when players left the Giants, they sucked. But now when they leave the Giants, it's not really, they don't really suck anymore. So it's becoming hard, but only younger fans will see that and be like, oh, this is why they're always good on other teams. It wasn't always like that. Okay. So I don't want to hear that, but this is a business and things happen. You're not going to pay Barkley $1 trillion. You have to pay other players. And I don't want to get into the whole, well, you should have paid him and not did. That's water under the bridge. So it is hard. I don't like seeing it. And you brought up something funny. You said, like a draft pick. Look, I don't give a rat's ass about the draft pick. If you can't play, you got to go. Like I'm done with Evan Neal. Evan Neal is not a tackle. I'm friendly with Evan Neal. I go to his football camp. He's not a tackle to me. Okay? He might not like me saying it, but he's not. Either move him inside or cut him already and let him try to go on with someone else, because what he is showing at the tackle position, and then it's so funny because then you'll get people that say, oh, well, he's not even in the league X amount of years yet. Let him learn. Let him do. No problem. There's an argument for that as well. Maybe he's a slow learner. Maybe he hasn't found the right coach, and hopefully this coach is the right one. Maybe he still needs another year. I'm down with all that. Personally, move his big ass in and let him strive at the guard position, maybe.
It's funny enough, I spoke to Pat Leonard yesterday about this exact thing, about why they haven't moved him to guard, and he said he just can't fathom it. Like, it just makes sense to move him in, just like Eric Flowers. We failed to do it with Eric Flowers. He went to Washington, was a good guard, good enough guard.
Yeah, he was actually. And look, getting back to Darnay Holmes, I was surprised they gave him another year this year. Obviously they didn't. But it's all said and done. It would have been hard. It was him or Flott, and then it was like him, Flott, or Newman or Drew Phillips, and it's going to be Drew Phillips. So, odd man out, I guess. I'm not so high on Flott either, whether inside or outside. So we'll see on that, because maybe it's going to be Nick, McLeod, who I am high on. Didn't have the best of joint practices with the Jets, but he still showed us last year what he could do. So, look, there are no crazy surprises to me. Lawrence Cager, I mean, okay, he's hurt. There's a whole bunch of it. Turbo, was he going to catch on? Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him catch on. Isaiah Hodgins, what did he give you? I love Isaiah. What did he give you that somebody else couldn't give you? I don't know. So there's no overall surprises in these cuts.
So let's do the quick fire. Let's go have a bit of fun for a second. So, favorite other sports teams?
I'm a big Yankees fan, and I'm a big New York Rangers hockey fan. And I'm a Knicks fan, but basketball is probably, the least of my favorites.
Cool. I kind of accepted those choices.
Yeah. It's funny because normally if you're a Giants fan, you really are a Yankee fan. I don't know if you know that from the States. If you're like, for some reason, it's Jets and Mets, Giants and Yankees. It's always been like that.
I guess the Jets and Mets just rhyme, and
I guess so. Yeah, it's the Ets. Yeah, I guess so.
What's the best stadium you've been to?
I've been to every stadium, and last year I got to see Vegas, and that was mind blowing. SoFi Stadium in San Diego or LA is unbelievable. Atlanta, gorgeous. Minnesota is incredible, but for some reason, nothing beats Dallas to me. I think AT&T Stadium is is gorgeous. I really do. I hate it. I hate that the Dallas Cowboys play there, but you could literally pick up MetLife and like put it inside of that stadium. It's so big and it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, everything's bigger in Texas, right?
I hate it.
What about the worst stadium?
I'm not going to say it. 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 Move on. Next question.
It's probably the same as all the beat writers tell me.
It's just a weird setup. You know, it's
Yeah.
you can't get around the stadium in MetLife. It's weird. You got to go down and up and around. It's not Giant Stadium. It's weird. I think that they were the first new stadium. If they just would have waited a tiny bit, a little more years, whatever, they would have been in the same, category as Atlanta and SoFi and all these other ones that were built that they can't even compare to. And look, I'm an old time fan, so I like Giants football. I like Giants weather. I like smash mouth football. I like playing in the snow, all that good stuff. But for the life of me, I can't see why they didn't dome it. I'm sorry, I can't for the life of me. Now, concerts and Super Bowls, and even though they had one there already. Do you know when the Giants hosted a Super Bowl when Denver was in it? What was it? Denver, Seattle, I think, whatever. Do you know the next day we got like 5 feet of snow or something? The next day. It was crazy. It was crazy.
This one might be difficult. All right. So you can have a few. You can have a few. Favorite game you've attended?
Great. That's a great question. I have a few. I'll give you my top 2 or 3. I don't think anything will beat being in the stadium at the Giants championship game versus Washington. They won 17-0 in this wind tunnel going to the Super Bowl back in the day, 86, I believe. And I mean, it was an incredible game. To be there live, to ever experience something like that, to move on to the Super Bowl. The 41-0 Viking game was mind blowing because it was like the Giant carry 41-0. It was just crazy. And can anything really beating the Patriots' undefeated season in the Super Bowl? I mean, if you're a Giants fan, it's total euphoria. It's the last game of the year. You just beat a team that was supposed to be undefeated, that was laughing when Plaque said that they would only score 14 points or 17, whatever it was. And so I don't think anything beats that game in total. That would be my favorite game ever.
So you'll probably have a few of these as well.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the funniest Giant that you've interacted with?
So Brandon Jacobs is he's a funny guy, but I don't think anybody, I knew Eli before Eli was Eli on social media and having his show and getting on Twitter and now Instagram. I knew him when he was playing some jokes in Albany at Giants training camp. I knew him when he was stealing guys' phones and changing their language into like Korean, and the players didn't know how to change it back into English. Eli's a funny guy. Most underrated funny guy, Rich Soibert, is a hilarious dude. So you could take anybody from those Super Bowl teams, but I'd have top 3 I just gave you.
Cool, awesome. The last question we have is kind of the best highlight for you covering the Giants, and that can be like a personal thing, it can be a game, it can be whatever you want.
Yeah, this is completely selfish on my part, but I'll go to my grave as, you could take my man cave, you could take everything in it, you can throw it out, you could take my 400 jerseys, you could take everything and do whatever you want with them. Nothing will ever. I'm going to tell you a funny story. So I'm at the Super Bowl 42. Game ends. I'm sitting around Diassi's family, Diassi's family, we're only 7 rows off the field. Diassi's family is being escorted down a ramp and onto the field. So the security guards are like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I'm right behind his dad, but I'm just letting them walk past me and down. And the security guard looks at me and goes, let's go. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not with them. I almost cried to death that I was that honest, that he's literally telling me to go. And I'm like, no, I'm not with them. And I never forget, I became friends with Chase Blackburn right after that. And I said, God, if you ever go back to the Super Bowl, man, I'm going with your wife. Like wherever she's sitting, I'm taking her coat, her pocketbook, and I'm going with her. And sure enough, 4 years later, I find her, and we go over the fence, over the wall to go on the field. And I remember security trying to stop, and I'm like, that's one of the players' wives. Leave her alone. As I'm climbing over, and getting to take a picture on the field, getting to hug some players, getting to sit on the bench with my plates flowing, and then getting to ride a bus in the Canyon of Heroes. It's forever will be my favorite moment. I'll die a happy Giants fan for that. It's completely selfish, but tough.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. What a way to end that as well. So that's all my questions done. Thank you for joining me. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of talk about some of the charity stuff you do. Like, we're over in the UK, so we spend a lot of our time living vicariously through X or through Twitter, and we're on there a lot. Every week that there's a game, we can see you pushing tickets, trying to get tickets, helping people out with tickets. There was the video at training camp of the 2 old timers that you took to the VIP bit, and then the softball game where you were raising money. Was that for the Coughlin Fund? I can't remember.
That's I used to do the Coughlin Fund as well, and I still do, but that was for troubled youth, an organization for troubled youth. Look, I can't thank you enough for bringing that type of stuff up, because, I don't do that to get a pat on the back, because to be honest with you, I really don't do it. I can't give away those tickets unless I get them from Giants fans. So we really all rock together. But, I started getting into it because I wasn't getting really satisfaction from my football team, so I had to do something else. And then I saw some people selling camp tickets online, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. And I'm like, they're free. Why are you selling these tickets? And I was like, you know what? I don't give a shit, pardon my language. I'm going to do everything I can to get people that have never gone to a camp or to a game tickets. And, I do my Dunkin' Mondays when the Giants win, and I do my softball game, and I'll try and give away everything that I can, because I believe that it will come back to you. And I believe that if you have this platform and you're able to use it for the good, then go ahead and do that. Look, I have this, I don't know if you saw this. It's Friday. I'm announcing the winner to go to the Germany game. So I got 2 extra tickets next to me. I got Big Blue Travel to give me tailgate tickets, and those are like $300 each. And then I got them to give me 2 plane tickets. And then I got someone else to do a hotel. Somebody is going to win a Germany game, 2 tickets, 3 nights hotel, 2 airfare, tailgates, an absolute free trip to go to Germany to watch your favorite team play for like a $60 raffle ticket. So again, when you have the platform to do good things, do good things.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. Do good things.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you bringing that up, because I think I've passed the 200,000 mark in donating for charity, and I think that's great. I think as long as people are following, I'm going to try and give back.
Absolutely. What Great little story to end that with, Joe. Really appreciate everything that you've given us on this episode. It's been a fantastic chat. For all the listeners and viewers who've now watched this, if you've enjoyed it, just let us know. Like, subscribe, all that lovely stuff. Our social links will be in the description down below. All of Joe's details will be in the description down below as well. So make sure, if you're not following him, which you should be, then do it. We'll put a link to anything Joe gives us. But until next time, let's go Giants.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hey, you know what? Let's end this. Let's end this pretty cool. I have some things. Maybe a Dexter Lawrence autograph football or something like that for your listeners. I'll tell you what, you do some kind of a raffle for this interaction with me. You get me a name and address. I'm not paying for shipping. Somebody will pay for shipping. And I'll tell you what, and I'll mail them out either a Brandon Jacobs autograph football. I'm looking at it now. That's why I'm looking over here. I'll mail them either Brandon Jacobs autograph football, a Dexter Lawrence autograph football, or a pair of Saquon Barkley gloves.
There we go, fans. You heard it here. We'll get on that, and we'll give Joe all the details. We'll pay for shipping.
You pay for shipping. I'll ship it out. You get me the winner's name, and that's how we'll end this.
There we go. Let's go Giants.
Let's go Giants, baby.